Hello, Colas, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with this transfer news claiming that three options Barcelona are considering as Sergio Busquets replacement. Barca have identified three options. Secondly, we are going to be talking about Ferran Torres, as it has been reported that Premier League club Aston Villa are currently in talks with Barca for the Spanish winger. Asking price that Barca have set is at 45 million euros. We are also going to be discussing more on that report. So guys, as we get right into the full story, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. FC Barcelona are in the market for a new midfielder as they look to replace Sergio Busquets, who has announced his desire to leave the club at the end of the season. Replacing the veteran midfielder will not be easy for Barca and would require extensive scouting. Fortunately for the club, the board has been looking out for options for a while now and has shortlisted three ideal candidates according to report from Dario Sport. The players in question are Martin Zubimendi, Sofian Amrabat, and Guido Rodriguez. These are the three midfielders identified by Xavi Hernandez as the ideal options to replace Busquets next season and in the years to come. Needless to say, Ruben Neves does not make the list, as Xavi is not entirely sure of the Portuguese international's defensive prowess. Zubimendi, on the other hand, remains Xavi's wet dream. He definitely rates the player very highly due to his technical ability and experience in Spanish football. Unfortunately for Barca, Real Sociedad's hefty demands could make the signing quite inaccessible this summer. Amrabat, on the other hand, was an option for Barcelona during the January transfer window, and it appears the club have reignited their pursuit of the Moroccan international, who was quite impressive at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. However, even the Amrabat operation could be tricky, with Fiorentina holding out for a fee of 25 million euros. That leaves Barcelona with Rodriguez, who currently plies his trade for Real Betis. Everything suggests the Argentine will leave the club in the coming summer, but as per the initial report from Dario Sport, Rodriguez is no closer to joining Barcelona. It is in fact Neves who is close to joining the Catalans, especially after the effort made by club president Joan Laporta. Of course, the replacement for Busquets will be very difficult to find when we look at the conditions of those respective players with a club, the price that the clubs have put on their head. You know, Barcelona are going to really find it so hard. If you ask me personally, I think right now Barcelona are still okay without a Busquets replacement, because we know we have players like Frank Kessie, even though Kessie's future is not even certain, but Frankie de Jong is here to stay, and still don't understand why sometimes Barca never consider Frankie de Jong as a natural replacement for Sergio Busquets. But Barcelona, they think that there are certain players that can, you know, practically replace Busquets. When I say practically, the way of playing, and of course, Zubimendi have been the top choice for Xavi, but things have been looking somehow, somehow uncertain when it comes to Zubimendi, whose Real Sociedad's contract still have a long way to go, and especially the price tag is released clause is 60 million euros. 60 million euros, you know. But Barcelona are reluctant, of course, when we consider the financial state that we are in. Currently, paying that 60 million is next to impossible. That is why Barca have been reluctant, and even reports coming out yesterday saying Zubimendi's move looks impossible at the moment. Sofian Amrabat as well is another guy who have been floating the media, linked to Barca since the January transfer window. Amrabat is the player who really wants to join Barca. He have not hide his feelings on that. A move in January was close on deadline day, but unfortunately for Amrabat, it didn't go through as Fiorentina never wanted to let their star midfielder leave that time. Even up to now, Sofian Amrabat is still in Fiorentina and the club is reluctant to let him leave. So Busquets leaving will bring a lot of headache. The club continue to search for replacement, and as I said earlier, Barcelona, the fact that they started searching for Busquets replacement even before he announced that he won't be continuing at the club, I think that was a good decision because right now they have already had players in their radar for a long time that they see as a Busquets replacement, which means that they don't need to go and start searching from afresh. So it's just to see how things will go from here on when it comes to these players. Ruben Neves is another player that is highly favored, especially by the president, Joan Laporta, who personally likes the player a lot, and also for the fact that Laporta's good relationship with the player's agent George Mendes, they have really come to an agreement of Ruben Neves leaving Wolverhampton Wanderers to join Barcelona. Then on to the next story of discussion. Journalist David Benabel has confirmed via Sport that Barcelona and Premier League side Aston Villa have entered talks to sign Ferran Torres. The team from Catalonia is expecting around 45 million euro for the winger. It is no secret that Barcelona will sanction heavy sales in the summer in order to acquire new players. This is in fact one of the requirements that the team must fulfill, in order to get their feasibility plan approved by La Liga. What is even more interesting is that Matteo Alemani's potential departure to Aston Villa is expected to be the catalyst of this operation. The Villains first began to take an interest in the winger after knowing that Barcelona would be tempted to sell him, and now they are planning to reach a favorable agreement that will satisfy all the parties. As it turns out, Bernabeu affirms that Barcelona cannot really afford to sell Ferran Torres for less than 42 million euros in order to avoid recording a loss since they acquired him from Manchester City for 55 million euros. Aston Villa are of the idea that there are many ways to convince the player. First, they want him to know the management is quite serious about his acquisition, as they want him to become their franchise player next season. For what it's worth, both Alemany and Villa manager Unai Emery know him pretty well, and they believe he could make a difference in the Premier League, as he has already done during his time with Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. As far as Barca are concerned, they have put him on the market as they need to sanction heavy sales. Moreover, Ferran Torres has not really achieved the needed continuity under Xavi. Anyway, leading to the suggestion that his exit will not have much of an impact. From the player's point of view, he understands that he needs a bigger role in order to return to the national team, and at Barca, chances will be far and in between. All this means the exit is imminent and the business can be finalized for about 45 million euros. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.